Now, stress can also do a couple more things for your health. Specifically, it can disrupt your sleep and wake cycles because of that, too much cortisol in your body. And this can lead to a lot of sleep deprivation if you've been super stressed out for a test or for some big speech or presentation or whatever. Maybe it was hard to fall asleep. Maybe you kept laying awake, thinking about the stressful situation. So it can lead to a lot of sleep deprivation, which we know from the consciousness chapter on sleep is extremely detrimental to your health to not be able to get enough REM and non-REM sleep. But again, when you don't get enough sleep or you're really stressed out, it triggers depressed mood. So I don't know if you've ever experienced or if you've, tried to talk to your roommate or your partner or your parents when they're really stressed about something and they might behave, more short with you or more, less open, less friendly. They might kind of be in this more hostile, anxious, or depressed kind of mood. That's often caused by stress as well, which we know sleep and mood changes together can contribute to things like obesity. So, for instance, there was this study done on dieters, so people who are trying to lose weight, and they're split up based on whether or not they got a low amount of sleep while dieting, so the 5.5 hours in this case in blue, or a normal healthy amount of sleep in orange. And they determined how much weight those dieters were able to lose on the y-axis. So if you look in total, the two groups who slept different amounts ended up losing about the same amount of weight, right? So you'd be like, cool, it has no effect. But when you break it down, depending on what type of weight was lost, whether it was body fat, which you typically would try to shave off, or lean body mass that you don't typically want to lose, you can see a huge difference. So those who slept well, this orange bar, lost more body fat than the group that didn't. So these poor sleepers lost precious bone and muscle tissue, which you don't want to lose as opposed to fat. Um, so this graph is kind of a way of showing you that if you aren't able to sleep as well, and you're putting yourself through maybe a stressful situation like trying to maintain a diet, it can lead to actual, less weight loss and on the extreme end, more obesity. So kind of summarizing an integrated view here, we don't experience stress in a vacuum. We are not individual beings that have our own problems that are different than everyone else. We are all interconnected. So if you've been stressed out about things and you've, ranted to your best friend, or how you're stressed out and the way you respond then affects your roommate and they become stressed or whatever, we're like a pair of dominoes. We influence each other all the time. So your environment, your support system, your culture, your race and ethnicity, your economic status, this is all going to play a role on how much stress affects your health, depending on what resources you have available to you, what friendships, relationships you have to be able to talk it out, things like that. So everything is interwoven. You are not an individual person in a vacuum.